Now, the International Association of Genocide Scholars have declared that Israel's actions in Gaza meet the legal definition of genocide. Israel has rejected the resolution, but with thousands killed, millions displaced, and famine now confirmed, the debate is more urgent than ever. Joining us to talk about this crisis, we have veteran activist and journalist, Brother Hassan Lorgat. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Radio Al Ansar.
Walaikum salam, and thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. To begin, could you please briefly explain the significance of the International Association of Genocide Scholars resolution declaring Israel's actions in Gaza as genocide?
Yeah, I mean, this is prestigious because it comes from, it's been published in Time magazine. So for two reasons. One is that these organizations often don't speak about the genocide, and they've now openly run articles affirming that the world opinion has moved against Netanyahu and his henchmen. I mean, the article basically is, the headline is, Israel's policies and actions in Gaza meet the legal definition of genocide. So this body of scholars, the International Association of Genocide Scholars, interdisciplinary, very prestigious, they're basically relying on Article 2. They're saying all the signs that the Israeli leadership have shown, their words, they were clear that a genocidal intent, right? And, the kind of lie that they were waiting for, it was a response to Hamas, and that, I don't think they take it too seriously, because the resolution basically talked about Israel's intent to forcefully displace 2.3 million Palestinians in the Gaza Strip many times. Now we're expecting the most bitter one as we speak to each other. People are dying. The other day, I think 97 people died. I mean, it is just obscene. And it would appear that Donald Trump and others have given a clear sign to Netanyahu to finish the job. He's been saying it a lot of times. But, those are the intentions. Then it's also resistance. It doesn't always happen the way they desire.
Allahu Akbar. It is devastating to watch. It always says, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Now, Brother Hassan, why is it important that the statement actually comes from genocide scholars and not just from political leaders or humanitarian organizations?
I mean, the number of groups that have gone against the Israeli viewpoint, they are so numerous. I mean, recently we had two Israeli human rights bodies. You had B'Tselem and the Israeli Physicians for Human Rights. You've had Amnesty outside Israel and various other places, all confirming that Israel is an apartheid state and it's committing genocide. So Israel doesn't have this problem that it hasn't heard it. It doesn't mean that it will not say that this is a lie and the usual Hasbara talking points they would give us, So for me, the significance is that, there was a guy, Omar Batov. He is Omar Batov, yeah. He is a Israeli scholar.
Right.
And he recently penned an opinion piece in The Guardian and various other newspapers, indicating that whilst initially he didn't think it was a genocide, he actually has come down to the idea that what Israel has been doing from June last year has been genocidal. So he's come late, Omar Batov. He wrote in The Guardian a year ago where he acknowledged that this has been happening. So clearly, why I quote it, he's an Israeli citizen living in the USA, teaching in the USA, and he says basically the ultimate goals of Israel is, from the beginning, has been to make the Gaza Strip uninhabitable and to debilitate its population to such a degree that it would either die out or seek all possible options to flee. And I'm sure Omar Batov is a member of this international scholars, because he's the preeminent one in the USA. then the language appears very, very much similar to what he argued a year ago. And this is quite important to put pressure on the Zionist entity that it actually adheres to international law and sees all its actions that are maiming, killing, starving people, and allow space for the Palestinians to determine their own destiny, which means they have the right to travel, they control their airspace, the navy, etc. All those, the sea, the shore, none of those that they ever had rights to. So it's quite a big ask, but really, even in South Africa, we never thought it was possible. So we need to fight and campaign for it, as well as pray for it.
Absolutely. It's so sad that it took so long to get to this point and we still don't know. I mean, these are just words as well, but the pressure and the action. South Africa has already brought a genocide case against Israel at the ICJ, and now we see scholars aligning with that position. How much legal and moral weight does this resolution add to South Africa's case?
It helps us to argue that Israel is an isolated, pariah state. But I'm afraid that if the UK, if the USA, if some of the Arab states that operate as Muslim Zionists, if they don't come around to a strong united position, it's not going to count for much. So it is both isolating Israel internationally in terms of the moral, intellectual consensus, but the political maneuvering is required. States like Saudi Arabia and others have to come to the party. It's a powerful state that Netanyahu and Trump do not take for granted, but they take them for granted because they seem at this moment to be in their camp.
Yep.
They have to really stand up. I keep saying that in South Africa we used to have the frontline states. This is Zambia and countries surrounding South Africa. All were united to isolate South Africa. And they paid for it. There were raids in Mozambique, Matola, there were raids in Botswana, and various places like that. Imagine if the frontline states surrounding occupied Palestine and Israel basically are united.
Absolutely.
The story will not be something that we discuss. We'll be celebrating the freedom not only of Palestinians, not only of Muslims and Christians, but of Jewish Israelis, of everybody, because it's an opportunity to create a democratic state, as we ourselves in South Africa once never thought was possible, but we're living it.
Absolutely. So we must never give up hope and keep trying and strive. As you speak, Brother Hassan, what comes to me is the story of Yusuf alayhi salam and how, he was obviously abandoned or backstabbed by his brothers. And when we look at what's happening in Palestine, it's almost like that when we look at the Arab countries and the surrounding countries. And it is sad, but it's almost like we can see that parallel. Now, we are seeing famine confirmed in Gaza City by a UN-backed body. How does starvation and deliberate destruction of infrastructure fit into the framework of genocide?
I mean, the South African government needs a lot of praise for putting this on the agenda. I know we criticize our government because we demand more. We want them to cut off the fuel, the petrol, to the coal that actually fuels the war, So clearly that is a hurdle to cross, but we cannot hide away that South Africa had raised the issue of famine from the beginning, and I think that this is death in slow motion, right? You cut off the water supply, etc.
Yes.
And what is so tragic that some of the leaders in the Israeli government have family who lived through the Holocaust in it.
Yes.
Exactly those kind of things that happened to them, where people died of hunger. Not everyone was shot or gassed by the Nazis. They were put through a starvation program, marginalized, and left off to die. For me, I think that it's interesting that the debate in our country after the SABC journalist was on air fighting with Dr. Rampele, when she basically tried to claim that the genocide or the Holocaust is a very separate thing. Don't provoke it. Mm-hmm. Don't provoke these communities because it is, it is meant only for Jewish people. It's that kind of silliness in terms of suffering, where people play games, that some people are deserving victims, that they should be the ones who can only be mourned or organized around. But the word Holocaust never referred only to Jewish people. Mm-hmm. Never. Mm-hmm. The people who got killed, they were the Roma, homosexuals, all those whom the Nazis regarded as the other, right? Mm-hmm. And of course, a large number, said to be 6 million Jewish people. So the concept was not only for Jewish people; it was for all those that were killed by the Nazis. But the second point about this debate, it was never the creation of Jewish people. I've got record where Winston Churchill used the concept in 1922 when he referred to the Armenians, the Turkish, what they call the Turkish genocide or against Armenians, or the Armenian genocide perpetrated by some of the Ottoman rulers. And himself, while Churchill used that, himself has been accused of committing genocide in Bengal when he could have saved lives. He didn't. The colonial army was trying to save that in the 1943, trying to save those resources for his army, and he preferred white lives who were controlling India or Bengal at that time. So they can use the word, but he used it in 1929. Mm-hmm. 43, he continues to commit it. But he was a racist, a colonialist, and, Mm-hmm. So the point is these words and concepts, they're basically the same. Absolutely. It's a genocide. Absolutely. And that's why we have a Genocide Act, to make sure that we learn that we can spot it early and we can act upon it.
Absolutely.
So when people are trying to privatize this concept to some people, they undermine all our humanity.
Absolutely. Well said. It's all part of the game, I think. And we know that Israel is actually not a religious one. It's a secular one. And that's why many Jews are standing up against them as well. I think it's a clear war between good and evil. For many, the word genocide, it carries immense moral weight. What do you think this resolution means for Palestinians who have been calling for the world to recognize their suffering?
I think for the Palestinians who have no water, who have no bread, eating animal feed, I don't know if it means anything anymore. The killing of journalists, the targeted killing of journalists.
Yes.
All this suggests to me that the Palestinians know that ordinary people in the world love them, but they cannot understand why the majority cannot put this tiny minority in its place and make them stop. And this is what I think, that these will just be another set of words. They will not read it with the Quranic verse or with the Tajweed. It's just another one. They really want strong action. For us who are campaigners here, we link these discussions. So when Juliet Newell says on the 26th on SABTV, do you not see your comments as provocative? Then Dr. Rapale from the Desmond Tutu IP Trust replies, the Holocaust happened and will continue to happen in different forms. Do we have to wait for millions to die to call this what it is? If we wait for 6 million to die, then humanity has no right to call itself human. I thought it was such a lovely answer.
Profound,
and
absolutely.
It was spontaneous. I had to read it out here it is so poetic.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And indeed, the right word you use is it's targeted killing. I mean, they target little children. They target. It's not just, we're just shooting anywhere. They have
an accident, yeah.
Yes, they have such sophisticated weapons and things like that. So, it just breaks our heart. And what is your message as we wrap up, Brother Hassan? What is your message of hope as we see this and still we're trying to fight for Gaza? What is your message of hope that you can leave us with?
And I'm not supposed to be interviewing you about why you wake up to do this, what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Why I wake up when doing my work. This is my solidarity and my commitment. But my job is somewhere else. Why do we make this extra time? Because we believe fundamentally that ordinary people hold the key to fighting genocides, fighting hate against an immigrant, someone who's darker than you, someone whose race and religion may not be the same. That's the reason why we are here. And I think what we need to do is that Muslim groups and others who listen to this station must gather into a group, 4 or 5 people, just get together and see what you can do for now and for the future. And there's a clear example in KZN where one Fatima Musa, with her campaign group, wrote to the citizen after I've taken up some of those matters with the citizen about not declaring South African Jewish Board of Deputies funding. She wrote to the citizen on behalf of her group, asking them to answer very, very clearly whether they would continue to take funding from the Jewish Board of Deputies and such lobby groups.
Mm.
And what is amazing about the reply that the citizen gave, and that I used in my response to the press council, I basically said to them that they had said to Fatima that they will not be taking any funds from on this, and they will not be going to any of these junkets because these are sponsored and journalists do not have the freedom to interview other people, to go where they want, and this is not journalism. So while the editor of the Citizen replied to me in some mundane, boring way, you're lying, the deputy editor who wrote to Fatima, I used as a way to say we will not pursue our dispute against the Citizen because they declared to a public activist body this, and which I shared with everybody. So I think it is possible for the KZN where you located, it's for the Muslim community, for mums, for young adults, whoever, to form collectives to address what they can do for Palestine and for the broader ummah, the broader community.
Inshallah. As you said, we are ordering people fighting against injustice. Jazakallah khair for your time this morning. Very important topic to obviously be discussed. And may Allah Azza wa Jalla bless you. Until we connect again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam, and thank you for having me.